Greetings, Kitchen Sink family members. How are you? How are we? I'm good. I'm really good. Um, Today, Kitchen Sink family members, we're doing a quick follow through on a question that came following the last video, which asked, our first point that we were talking about in the last video was how we should live life without reflecting, in the rearview mirror as a distraction. In this way, a question came through, and they were saying, what is the rearview mirror of life? And so I thought, indeed, what is the rearview mirror of life? What am I talking about? And I realized that a rearview mirror of life is when you are reflecting, when there is a reflective a way of looking at life based on the past, on a life that you lived in the past. And so what is that life that you have lived in the past? It includes, in my opinion, things like your upbringing, things like your background, things like how you were socialized, maybe the schools you attended, the community you grew up in, your value system, things like that. And when you look life at those things, particularly if they are residing in the past, they will determine at how you will respond to life ahead of you, or to life in the present, what you call your current present. And so how must you live life if you're trying to not necessarily stay on a past failure, a past disappointment, a past frustration that's coming from how you have lived life in the past? It means you have to lay the groundwork. You have to be clear with the definitions of where you are in life, who you are, what you are about, so that when anything comes negative from the past, you know that I'm not allowing this limitation going forward. And then the other thing is also to train your brain to pay attention. Train yourself literally to say, I'm not living life in the past. I'm not entertaining my failures of the past, my frustrations, whatever it is that happened in the past, even the way you were raised. If it is coming as a limitation, you can train yourself to say, no, we are not doing that. We are not living life according to that. And then the other thing also is to pay attention to the emotions, to make sure that you're not necessarily allowing a limitation to come from a particular emotion that is not giving you progress in life. Things like fear. You could have encountered a traumatic experience in the past, and that imprinted fear, in your life. And the next time you want to attack a particular challenge in life, then you find yourself limited because of that fear. Fear becomes a trigger to your limitation, and you want to ensure that, one, you know the particular emotion, and you are able to make sure that you direct that emotion to where it belongs, so that you create a way for you to move forward in life. The other thing then is you have to really interrupt your autopilot. Emotions are part of that, can be an autopilot, but also sometimes, like, more than just emotions, other life experiences can interfere. Like if you have a bad habit, you can't as an adult that my concentration span is very small, and so you want to ensure that whatever it is that you're paying attention to, you give it longevity that it requires. And or something that requires your attention, there is procrastination. Those things can autopilot how you are going to live life and look at life. And it is within your own prerogative to ensure that you interrupt those things. If you have to slap yourself in the face to say, pay attention, stay focused, let's finish this assignment, it becomes very, very important. And then also you have to tune into how you live life, the energies around how you live life, so that you're not necessarily allowing those interruptions, discouragements, frustrations to determine the outcomes of that which you want to focus on in life. It's very important. If you hero worship negative emotions, if you hero worship past failures, if you hero worship all those negative vibes, they will determine your own way of looking at life going forward. So tune in to those things, and when you begin to feel that I'm becoming scared, I'm losing the zeal and the stamina here, then you want to revitalize yourself and ensure that you have capacity to carry on in life. The other thing is to learn to pay attention to yourself. Listen to your heart. Listen to what your body. Listen to your inner self. What am I telling myself inside? And if I'm feeling threatened, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, if I'm feeling maybe pushed into a corner, like, don't ignore that. Your body is telling you something. Stop, review yourself, and ask yourself, why am I so uncomfortable? Why am I feeling hamstrung? Why am I feeling pressurized? And when you're able to explain those things, then you are able to say, okay, so which is the next step for me to take in regards to this particular situation? And you'll be able to progress, peacefully and effectively in life. If you are feeling pressurized, maybe because you're tired, you're exhausted, there is fatigue, in your life, then you may need to replenish your attention reserves, your energy reserves. You may need to just pull away and just take a moment and only come back into the particular issue when you are ready to progress. And then also sometimes you want to ensure things in your life that you say, okay, these things I do not do, these things I do. That helps, the do's and don'ts of your life. This is about your life. And when you do that about yourself, you can easily remind yourself, what is it that I do, in my life? I work hard. I remain loyal and honest. When I'm in trouble, I call out for help. I receive correction in my life. If I'm wrong and I'm corrected, I receive it. Those are the things that I do in my life. And what do I not do? I do not look at people, clandestinely. I do not look at people with a condescending attitude. I do not look at people, with a negative vibe. No, I don't do that. I look at people and respect humanity as God's creation. And that is important. And every human being, his opinion is to be respected. I just don't throw down people's opinions, and believe that mine is better. No, I don't do that. And when I'm inclined to do that, remind myself that no, I don't do that. If I don't understand your opinion, I would rather leave it at that I don't understand, than to throw it away or push down on it, so that at least life can be progressive. So these are some of the things that I use when I'm defining the rearview mirror. I will not look at a person with a condescending attitude. I will not be malicious about other people. I will not. Those don'ts will help me when I'm tempted to look back in my life with a mirror or a negative mirror behind me. So yes, those are the mirrors that I was talking about. And if in your life you have other mirrors that can pop up, kindly share. How do you look at life? How are you always progressive? Are you always forward looking? Are you never side looking? Are you never backward looking? And if so, what do you do in those instances? I promised you that I would try and answer when people ask questions, and because I cherish Kinshasa Singh family members' opinion, and I thought I would do that with us today. But thank you so much for coming alongside. Thank you so much for sharing your own opinion, your own positions. Thank you so much. And also just a little two scriptures that come to mind. I know clearly the other one is Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. I'll put it here. And there's another one that's coming to heart, but I can't remember, its address. I'll also put it here, that we can use when we are challenged in our opinion, when we are challenged by a past life experience, so that we're not limited to moving forward in life. Thank you so much, Kinshasa Singh family members. Please, let's continue to subscribe. Let's continue to comment. Let's continue to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you. Be blessed.